The fried dough stick stall at the entrance of the neighborhood is extremely popular, with long queues every morning. I went there before dawn and was the first in line, waiting for a full hour. Without a word, an elderly man yawned and stood in front of me, saying he wanted 100 jean, buying up the entire batch. I argued with him, and he took me by surprise, pushing me into the hot oil, causing my tragic death. The dozens of people in line didn't dare to utter a single word of protest. And they even stayed far away from going to the police station to testify. I was reborn at the moment the old man cut in line. I immediately stepped back and gave my spot to the old man. The people behind me in line scolded and cursed at me. I say, that old man is my own uncle. If you have the guts, go reason with my uncle. 1. Do you have any public morality? I got up so early, and you gave the spot to that old man. He bought everything. What am I supposed to eat? Exactly. That old man wants 100 jean. How long are we supposed to wait? My grandson is waiting to eat before going to school. Will you take responsibility if he's late? I chuckled and said, go complain to my uncle. He's my own uncle. So what's wrong with me standing in line for him? The old man at the front of the line turned to look at me, revealing a set of yellow teeth, and gave me a thumbs up with a smile. I waved my hand and said, Uncle, go ahead and buy it, later. We'll sell it for extra money at the South Gate. After saying that, I left. I know that the old man is using the identity of a fried dough stick vendor to resell and make a profit from the price difference. A few seconds later, I heard the 1 versus 60 verbal brawl begin behind me. The old man was taking on dozens of people in the argument without showing any sign of weakness. I hid behind a large tree in the residential area and watched the battle for a long time. Calm down and settle your emotions. After all, the pain of being deep-fried in my previous life is still coursing through my entire body. Damn it, since you love cutting in line so much, why don't I help you cut in line at the King of Hell's palace? I returned to the rented house. I started searching for information about the old man in the group chat. I actually found a few pieces of information. One of them was the old man ordering the youngest daughter from a certain building and household to come play with his grandson at 9 p.m., and only letting the little girl go back when the grandson had fallen asleep. Of course, here is the furious cursing from the little girl's parents. The old man didn't curse back in the group chat, he just followed up with a few photos he had taken. He placed a bucket of dead rats at their doorstep. He even stuck a cucumber pointing straight up on the seat of the electric scooter that the little girl's mother rides. Outrageous. The whole neighborhood is talking about it. The little girl's mother was so angry that she ended up in the hospital. An elderly man blocked a little girl at the entrance of the residential area after school, insisting that his grandson crawl under her skirt. He wouldn't let her leave unless she complied. The girl's father rushed over and slapped the elderly man. The elderly man was hospitalized for half a month and received over $10,000 in compensation. The little girl was too frightened to go to school. Later, the family moved away. The old man then turned his attention to other families, determined to find a little girl to play with his grandson. As for cutting in line, the old man was an expert. At the community supermarket, when handing out discounted eggs, the old man directly cut to the front of the line. After getting it, he cut in front of the third person and got another one. After getting it, he cut in front of the fifth person. When others wouldn't let him cut in line, he crushed the egg and smeared it on their face. When the supermarket wouldn't let him get more, he kicked over a pile of eggs. If he couldn't get enough, then no one else would either. The idea is, if I can't get an advantage, then no one else should either. After that, he went to the neighborhood supermarket every day to take eggs. He claimed the supermarket owed him. At first, he took a few, and the female owner of the supermarket tolerated it, thinking it was better to lose a little money than invite trouble. Later, as he took more and more, the female boss had the security guards drive the old man away. The old man didn't confront the security guards head-on. Instead, he specifically targeted the female boss, performing all sorts of indecent actions in public every day. He would randomly urinate on the supermarket's vegetables, making all the residents in the community afraid to buy anything. As a result, the supermarket went out of business in less than 2 months. The female boss mortgaged her house to open this supermarket, only to end up losing everything. She almost took her own life in the building upstairs. When she was about to jump, an old man below was making sarcastic remarks. He said something like, "Why not wear a skirt when you're standing so high up?" The female boss has a nice figure. He had secretly watched her shower, so he should have enjoyed her a few times before jumping. If she gets broken, she can't be played with anymore. No one in the entire neighborhood stood up for her. It was a few older women who forcibly pulled the female boss down. This saved her life. Since then, the old man has been invincible in the neighborhood, too. In my previous life, because I had just moved in and was unfamiliar with the neighborhood, I didn't know the old man had no bottom line, which is why I dared to confront him one-on-one. I accidentally lost my life. In this life, I absolutely cannot foolishly face it alone again. The next day, I didn't go to buy fried dough sticks again. I didn't expect the old man to come looking for me. Didn't you say you'd stand in line for me? How come when I got there, I didn't see you? Made me have to waste my breath arguing with those ignorant fools. I was wondering how the old man knew which apartment I lived in. When the chubby middle-aged neighbor from upstairs came up with some fried dough sticks, he gave me a guilty look, and I immediately understood. He was the one who told the old man I lived below him. His family has a young daughter who was harassed by the old man. Later, it seemed he told the old man that his daughter was too chubby and the old man's grandson might not like her. The chubby daughter even told the old man which house her good friend lives in. His family is hiding away quietly, and to think I even helped their child with homework before. Now they've sold me out. I chuckled and said to the old man, it's really not that I don't want to queue for you, but mainly because the chubby guy upstairs, who didn't manage to buy fried dough sticks for his daughter yesterday, was jumping rope with her to lose weight late at night, which kept me up until midnight. I didn't even hear the alarm clock today. The old man angrily threw the large bag of fried dough sticks in his hand onto the ground. I just said, why would he kindly tell me which household you live in? That damn fatty doesn't look like a good person at first glance. The old man picked up the dirty fried dough sticks from the ground and stomped up the stairs. I closed the door, brought over a small stool, and sat by the entrance listening to the commotion upstairs. First, there was loud banging on the door, followed by unbearable insults, then the sound of a little girl wailing, and later the couple and the old man exchanging curses about each other's families. By the time I left for work, the old man upstairs still hadn't let them off, nor did he allow them to take their child to school. I sneered inwardly, thinking it's a case of the pot calling the kettle black. As I got on my electric scooter, a police car drove into the residential complex. I wanted to continue watching the drama, but I had no choice as I was going to be late for work. Unexpectedly, just halfway through my shift, the police called and asked me to come in to assist with the investigation. I took a day off and went to the police station. Upstairs, I saw the chubby guy with a bruised face, sitting listlessly in the mediation room. On the other side, there was another person with his head wrapped in bandages and his arm in a sling across his chest, looking like a mummy. You little rascal, you're here, come and back me up. They started it. I realized then that the mummy was actually the old man. He got beaten up like this. I was called into another room for questioning. I learned from the police officer that the elderly man had simply lost his balance while going downstairs and suffered a minor scrape on his head. The chubby man's face, however, was genuinely scratched by the elderly man. Since both sides had conflicting accounts and both mentioned me, I was called in for questioning. I was just saying, this morning the old man came to me for a friendly consultation on the techniques of lining up to buy fried dough sticks. Upon learning that I didn't sleep well last night because of the jumping rope upstairs, he was filled with righteous indignation and went upstairs to reason with the chubby brothers' family. As for how it later turned into a fight, I had to rush to work, so I don't know what happened. After listening to my account, the police took some notes and then let me go. When I got home from work, I found the stout woman blocking my doorway. She was also holding her chubby daughter by the hand. You're the reason my husband still hasn't come back. Compensate me for his lost wages. 3. I took out my phone and started recording. Sir, it's not that I don't want to queue for you, but today I got blocked by the chubby lady again. If I can't wake up and get in line tomorrow, don't blame me. After finishing the recording, I put down my phone and said, don't mind me, I'm afraid the old man will come after me, so I'm recording a video just in case. You, the plump woman pointed at me, trembling all over, unable to utter a single word. The chubby daughter wiped her runny nose and was about to wipe it on me. I took her little hand, spun her around in a circle, and smeared all the snot right onto her mother. I chuckled and closed the door. As the plump woman led her daughter clattering up the stairs, think I'm an easy target. I've already died once. I'm not going to maintain this kind of hypocritical neighborly relationship anymore. On the third day, I went to queue up for fried dough sticks again. The old man didn't come. I heard from the people behind me that he was hospitalized, and the one who extorted was the fat brother. When I was buying fried dough sticks, I chatted with the owner who fries them. I asked him, that old man cuts in line every day and buys so many to resell at a higher price. Isn't he afraid that his reputation will be ruined by the old man? He said, what can a small vendor like him do? He has been selling here for 2 years, and it hasn't been easy to build up his reputation. Now all the nearby residents come to buy from him. An elderly man came after hearing about it and immediately asked for 50 Gene. At first, he refused to sell the elderly man that much, But the man made a scene right in front of his stall, preventing anyone else from buying. In the end, the vendor had no choice but to hope the old man wouldn't come. I could tell he was having a hard time. After buying the fried dough sticks, I brought them to the old man at the hospital. In the ward, the old man was holding on to a young nurse, refusing to let her leave, insisting that she take him to the bathroom. He claimed that as a patient with mobility issues, he would file a complaint if she didn't comply. I was holding a bag of fried dough sticks and shouted, "Grandpa, I've brought you some food." I tripped, and the entire bag of fried dough sticks spilled all over the grandpa's face and body, burying him. Damn, it's gone dark. The little nurse took the chance and ran away. The old man struggled to lift his face out of the pile of fried dough sticks. His face was glistening with oil. "You little beast. Have you gone mad?" I said cheerfully. "I know you didn't get to eat fried dough sticks today, so I bought some and brought them to you first. Don't be polite, just lower your head and dig in heartily." Choking, "Let me pour you a cup of freshly boiled water." The old man's face turned red with frustration, unable to utter a word. Seeing that he wouldn't eat, I grabbed a fried dough stick and shoved it into his mouth. The old man pushed me away and told me to get lost, thinking he disliked the fried dough stick because it was too dry. I pulled down the 4 drip he was receiving and sprayed the medicine onto the fried dough stick until the fried dough stick softened. I stuffed it into the old man's mouth again. "Eat up, old man. Food and medicine share the same origin. It's highly nourishing." The old man choked on what I had stuffed into his mouth. It took him quite a while to catch his breath. He looked at me with a bit of fear in his eyes. What the hell is wrong with you?" I slapped my forehead. "You've got a good eye." "Old man, my eyebrows have been falling out badly, and the doctor said I need to find an old man to take good care of. From now on, you're my dear old man." The old man started coughing violently upon hearing this and couldn't stop. I helped him up and patted his back with all my strength. "Don't rush, sir. Take your time coughing. I have plenty of strength and methods." "Doctor." Seeing his face turn purple, I rushed out to find a doctor. When I returned, the old man had already disappeared without a trace. "Is that all?" "This is just the beginning." I leaned against the hospital room window, watching the elderly man downstairs stumbling as he ran, and shouted loudly, "Uncle, do you want your fried dough sticks salty or sweet tomorrow?" The old man nearly tripped and fell. "I'm definitely going to deliver these fried dough sticks, for..." The old man indeed didn't go to cut in line to buy fried dough sticks for resale the next day. I didn't deliver them to him either, because you can't keep playing the same trick. At my suggestion, the owner of the fried dough stick stall registered as a delivery merchant. He stopped setting up the street stall, rented a small storefront, only doing delivery. The platform set a purchase limit of 2 Gene, although it's a bit expensive. The old man can no longer cut in line. Everyone is overjoyed. That morning when I went to work, I saw the old man cursing loudly at the original spot of the fried dough stick stall. He was cursing the stall owner for not setting up the stall, cutting off his source of income. Passing homeowners whispered to each other while watching the commotion. The old man had been cursing for a long time when he noticed many delivery riders entering the residential area to deliver packaged fried dough sticks. He began to realize what was happening and immediately headed in the opposite direction to investigate. He soon found a small storefront not far from the street, with only a tiny window open for service. The old man stuck his head inside. "You damn thing, hiding here frying dough sticks, trying to dodge your grandpa, huh?" The dough stick vendor was terrified. The old man picked up a brick from the roadside and started banging on the door, stopping the delivery rider from picking up the order. But the orders kept coming, and the pile of fried dough sticks for delivery behind the small window grew larger and larger. More and more delivery riders gathered. As time went on, they grew increasingly anxious. No one dared to confront the old man head-on. He clearly looked like someone trying to scam others, not worth the trouble. After all, he still had gauze wrapped around his head. "Sir, please just let me pick up the order. I'm about to be late." "What do I care if you're late, sir? If I'm late, my whole morning's work will be for nothing. They'll deduct my pay." "Deduct pay?" The old man's eyes darted around. "How much do they deduct?" "They deduct several bucks for each late delivery," a delivery guy exclaimed loudly, as if hoping to gain the old man's sympathy. Another delivery guy hurried over to cover his mouth, but it was too late. "Why the hell did you tell him? Do you even know who he is?" Before the first guy could answer, the old man had already spoken up. "If you want to get your food, that's fine. I won't ask for much, just 1 yuan per order. Pay up and you'll get your food. Don't even think about carrying me away. I've got a whole list of illnesses." With that, he flashed his payment QR code. The delivery riders were dumbfounded. They'd truly seen it all after living this long. It's one thing for the platform to take a cut, but now even some random old man comes to skim off a layer too. Seeing that no one was giving any money, "What's the matter?" not willing to pay up. Aren't you afraid of being fined? Can't you figure out which is more and which is less between several dollars and $1? One of the delivery guys couldn't take it anymore. Here's the money, scanned the code, picked up the package, and left. What damn bad luck. More and more delivery guys are scanning the code and paying. The old man stood by the window of the fried dough stick vendor, grinning like a blooming chrysanthemum. This is way more profitable than reselling. What are the rest of you waiting for? The price will go up to 2 yuan in a moment. As soon as he finished speaking, the remaining young men scanned the code and paid. The owner of the fried dough stick stall just turned off the food delivery platform and stopped taking orders. If things keep going like this, the rent I just paid will all be lost. He told me about this matter. When I heard this, I thought, with such a broad-minded approach, why doesn't the old man go into nuclear fusion? So the next day, I got up early and queued up at the small window for package pickup. Just as the order rush began, the old man arrived late. Seeing me in front of him, he immediately tried to push me aside. Get out of the way, don't block your grandpa from making money. I weigh 200 pounds, and even if he pushes me, I won't budge an inch. I chuckled and said, Sir, don't worry, I'm here to help you collect the money. The old man immediately praised me for being sensible. He handed me the printed QR code and sat down nearby to smoke. The delivery guys took one look and saw the old man sitting there waiting again, and this time he'd even brought along a 185-meter tall, 200-pound enforcer. Their faces instantly fell even further. I pulled out the old man's QR code. Come on, scan the code. Hey, why can't I scan it? Is the network down? This is really holding up my old man from making money. 5. A group of delivery riders watched as I performed alone. I hurried over to the elderly man and said, Sir, the QR code you printed can't be scanned. Quickly give me your phone. I'll scan their codes to collect the money. It'll be faster this way. The elderly man didn't hesitate and immediately handed me his phone. I opened the scanning function and quietly asked the delivery guy to show his payment QR code. Hurry the hell up. Scan the code early and get your meal early. Everyone understood without saying a word, so I scanned $1 for each of them. Soon the whole morning passed. The old man has quite a balance in his spare change. Looks like all the spare change he scammed is stored here. Clinking and clattering all morning, I managed to earn over 100 from the old man. When the fried dough stick stall closed for the day, I stuffed the old man's phone back into his hand. Old man, over 100 in just one morning. You're such a good person. With all the virtue you've accumulated, you'll surely go to heaven when you die. I've got to get to work. After saying that, I hopped on a shared bike and took off. The old man took the phone and checked the balance. Why is there over 100 missing? By the time he looked up, I was already gone. All that remained was my distant blessing. Sir, no need to thank me. Please call me young pioneer. The next day, the old man got up early and waited by the small window as usual. I put on a food delivery uniform and approached him. Finally got you, damn it. The old man grabbed me by the collar. Pay up, I struggled. Sir, calm down, I'll transfer the money right now. Do you want 100 or 500? The old man glared and said, Of course it's 500. The extra is your grandpa's compensation for emotional distress. I smiled and added the old man on WeChat, sending him the cut one more link. Look, Sir, this is where you claim the 500 yuan. I've already gathered 499.99 yuan, just 1 cent short. Click in, play a minigame, and you can withdraw it. The old man initially wanted to complain about how troublesome it was, but as he kept tapping on his phone, he got completely absorbed. The delivery driver kept picking up orders one after another and leaving, and he didn't even react. He just stood there poking at his phone. Then he forwarded this to one person, that to another, and even made calls asking for help. Oldly, help me get a discount. You don't know how. Useless. Old Zhang, do you know how to slash? What do you mean slash who? I'll slash you, you old bastard. When he raised his dizzy head, the fried dough stick vendor had already sold out and closed the shop. Why is it still just a little short? Wasn't it just a little short a moment ago? The old man video called me, and I answered, Are you messing with me? I've been at it all morning. Why hasn't it been withdrawn yet? I sent him several screenshots, just random ones I found online. Look, sir, all my friends around me have successfully withdrawn their money. Could it be that there's something wrong with your phone? Bullshit, don't you dare try to fool me. Hurry up and give me the money. I immediately hung up the phone. Give you money? I've been waiting for you to come cause trouble at my company. Sure enough, the old man lived up to expectations and actually came to my workplace. He didn't shout or cause a scene. He just stood at the entrance holding a broken bowl, waiting. He asked everyone he saw if they had seen his son. He said he forgot where his home was and didn't want his son either. He even took out his phone and showed others the photos from my social media feed. It quickly spread throughout the company. The department manager called me in for a talk, and when I heard it, I immediately shouted loudly in the meeting room, "My uncle is back! My uncle is finally back!" Rushing downstairs, I picked up my uncle and started spinning around. I spun him so much that he started dry heaving. Countless colleagues were leaning against the windows watching the commotion. "Uncle, where on earth have you been all these years since you went missing with Alzheimer's? Do you even know that your son has gone insane? He's been taken to the 3rd hospital, and your wife has run off with someone else and even had a chubby baby boy." The more Uncle heard, the darker his face grew, and the people around, hearing so much juicy gossip, all stopped to listen. "Uncle, your old house has been demolished and turned into a public restroom now, with a huge daily flow of people. But the demolition compensation was all taken by your wife, who used it to support her young lover. You know, the child born from that young lover, and your wife looks nothing like you, so much more handsome." The old man finally couldn't take it anymore. "Shut up." 6. I dodged with a jump, and he missed hitting me, then fell down himself. "Help, a young man is beating up an old man, don't let him get away." The old man turned his head and saw that I had already squatted to the side, bought a bottle of ice drink, and taken a swig. A sip on such a hot day, feels amazing. I looked at the old man and said, "Keep shouting. I told you this illness of yours needs some stimulation to get better. See, you finally remembered how to scam people, didn't you? Quick, call 120. My uncle's awake. Hurry and send him to the mental hospital for electroshock therapy." The old man saw me pull out my phone and immediately jumped up in fright. "All right, you little brat, you're tough. Seems like you don't know how much salt I've eaten in my life. Just you wait, I'll make you beg on your knees." I immediately dashed forward and grabbed the old man by the hem of his pants. "Help, uncle, I've eaten too many fried dough sticks, and seeing you makes me want to vomit. What should I do? Someone, come quickly, I've caught an alien spy." Tie him up and slice him for examination, while shouting these nonsensical words. He wiped his snot on the uncle's pants. The uncle was so frightened that he shuddered several times, stepping back repeatedly. I held onto him tightly, finally breaking free from me. The old man turned and ran. He stepped right into a pile of dog poop by the roadside. Only then did I pat my clothes and stand up, finally stepped on it. "Sir, you're really lucky." After saying that, I went back to work. The old man immediately vomited by the roadside, desperately shaking the poop off his shoe. When my colleagues at the company saw me return, they all kept their distance. I didn't care. Having experienced life and death, why would I care about how others see me? After all, in life, nothing matters except death. The department manager called me into the office and told me not to damage the company's image, or else I would face disciplinary action. I said, the company must strictly follow the rules and regulations, and never let one bad apple spoil the whole barrel. The department manager's face turned dark. In my previous life, after I died, the company directly deducted my salary for that month, leaving no money for my family. At that time, the boss said I had accidentally fallen into the oil pot myself, and the police came to the company to investigate. The department manager issued an order strictly prohibiting employees from speaking carelessly, requiring a unified stance. Simply state that I keep to myself at the company and no one knows about my personal life. And yet, despite my repeated complaints at the company about the elderly man cutting in line in the neighborhood, not a single person reported it to the police. It wasn't until a bold elderly woman from the neighborhood came forward as a witness that the man was brought to justice. So, I have absolutely no intention of saving face for this lousy company. When I got home from work, I couldn't get in by swiping the access card, and the security guard at the gate actually stopped me. I asked, puzzled, what was going on. The guard hemmed and hawed, first saying the access system was broken and I had to wait for the team leader to confirm it, then saying tenants couldn't use this gate and had to use the north gate instead. I laughed when I heard that. Use the north gate? That would mean walking an extra block. Besides, I've seen several tenants go in, so why can't I get in? The security guard, unable to find a reason, simply yelled at me. Don't you have any idea why you can't get in? Don't wait for me to say something unpleasant. Take my advice and move out as soon as possible. At that moment, I saw from a distance that in the pavilion of the residential area, the old man was holding a thermos cup, drinking while watching my direction, with a faint smile on his face. I see. Are you a distant relative of the old man? The security guard flared up upon hearing this. So what if I am? Our team leader is his own nephew, let me tell you. There are some people you can't afford to mess with, better stay away while you can. I actually managed to trick him into revealing it. No wonder the old man was so domineering in the neighborhood in my previous life, and the property management never intervened. So it turns out someone had his back. I pulled out my phone. The security team leader appeared out of nowhere. Go ahead and complain all you want. Let me make it clear to you. Inside this gate, I'm the one in charge. Don't think just because you're a tenant you can do as you please. Even the homeowners here have to offer me cigarettes if I say so. I quietly put down my phone. Thank you, 7. That single word of thanks left the security captain stunned. I immediately shared the video of the security guard and the captain's conversation directly into the community group chat. After a few seconds of silence, the crowd exploded. Holy shit, I knew that old man was causing so much trouble, and complaining to the property management was useless. Turns out they're all his relatives. Not a single decent person in that whole family. Damn the property management, why should I? Who took out such a huge loan to buy this house? Have to listen to them once I step inside. Get out of the community, change the property management, change the property management, change the property management, +1. In less than a minute, the arrogant security captain received a phone call. Even from a distance, I could hear the hysterical yelling from the other end. The security captain didn't dare utter a word of protest and kept bowing apologetically. Probably the property manager. He turned his head, his face contorted. You dare record and post it in the group chat. Don't worry, I didn't record your face, I said with a smile. Delete it now. I can pretend nothing happened, otherwise, you'll face the consequences. I squatted by the roadside and started a game, thinking, it's fine, I'll just wait here and see what happens. The security captain was about to rush over when several elderly women surrounded him. I smirked to myself. My wait wasn't in vain. I had calculated that from the community square to this spot, it would only take the elderly women about half a minute at their pace. I knew it. Every time the supermarket in the community gives out eggs, you stop us, and by the time we get in, only the rotten ones are left. No wonder that wretched old man sells eggs at the door every time. Turns out he's been snatching them all. Pay us back for our eggs. A group of aunties surrounded him, scratching and clawing. The security captain didn't dare fight back, so he just crouched on the ground, covering his head. What's going on here? The elderly man walked over. Do I need your approval for whatever I do? The elderly woman saw that the person in question had actually arrived. She immediately turned her verbal attack toward the old man. You cutting in line to buy fried dough sticks is one thing. We can't eat that stuff because of our high cholesterol, but how dare you cut in line for the free eggs too? Making it so my granddaughter couldn't get any. Old geezer, you still dare to come here and talk nonsense. They're all afraid of you, but do you think we're scared of you too? Sisters, get him. The security captain took the opportunity to run away, leaving the old man surrounded by a group of aunties. They pulled his hair, scratched his cheeks, and tore his clothes, each with their own assigned task. If you keep laying hands on me, just wait until I have a heart attack. I'll make you pay through the nose. The aunties weren't intimidated at all. You think you're the only one with a heart condition. We all have one. If you dare to have an attack, we'll all have one together. Let's see who ends up paying more. The old man fell silent and could only run while dodging. In the end, he jumped into the small pond in the green belt. The aunties surrounded the pond and cursed at him for another half hour before finally letting him go. The old man was used to taking advantage of others, but now he finally understands that not everyone's advantage can be taken. I had seen enough of the excitement. As I passed by, the old man was climbing out of the pond. I let out a loud, mocking laugh. When he saw it was me, he got so worked up that he fell back in. Then I leisurely made my way home. The property management really messed up this time, and the group chat still hasn't settled down. I've been kicked out of the group chat by the property management several times, but the homeowner administrators always added me back. After all, aside from the aunties, I'm the only one who dares to stand up to the uncles. In the end, the property management fired the security team leader and that particular security guard, which finally calmed the public anger. At midnight, my front door was being banged on loudly. I got up and saw the old man standing at my door, dressed in funeral clothes, banging on it. The old man sure knows how to have fun, as someone who has already died once. Do you think I'm afraid of your underworld jokes? 8. Coincidentally, the lights in this hallway are broken, and the main switch is connected to my apartment. Of course, the landlord said the electric meter is connected to the main line and doesn't register usage. I saw the old man knocking vigorously on the door through the surveillance camera, so I pulled the main electrical switch. The motion sensor lights in the entire hallway went out, and no matter how much the old man stomped and shouted, they wouldn't turn on. I smirked, found a horror movie, connected it to the surveillance intercom at the door, and played it. A terrifying background noise mixed with a woman's sharp laughter suddenly rang out above the old man's head. I faintly heard a thud sound. followed by a dull thump. I checked the surveillance footage and saw that the old man had fainted from fright. Finally, it was quiet, and I went back to sleep peacefully. The next day, I woke up and checked the surveillance footage, only to find that the old man had been lying there for 2 hours before regaining consciousness. During that time, he was stepped on by a neighbor coming off the night shift, who then turned on a flashlight to take a look. Holy crap! It was an old man dressed in burial clothes, scared out of his wits. He kicked the old man in the head a couple more times. When the old man woke up, he must have felt a headache. He sat for a long time holding his head before standing up. By then, I had already flipped the switch for the motion sensor lights in the hallway. The old man was dazed and probably forgot what had just happened. He was about to bang on the door again. At that moment, the horror background music I had set to play every half hour started again. The old man, as if triggered by some switch, scrambled away in a panic. A trail of dripping water stains was left on the ground. Well, as people get older, prostate issues are common, and urinary incontinence is normal. I only found out about this after I woke up and watched the replay. The old man is truly unrestrained. He came to me to assert his rights even though he was incontinent, but will he just let it go at that? Anyway, I definitely won't let it go. That kind of hatred, as anyone who has been deep-fried knows, cannot simply be let go. The next day, the old man didn't go to collect money from the fried dough stick vendor's takeout shop either, probably scared out of his wits, still hasn't recovered, and his pants aren't dry yet. How can the old man not show his face? Just in time, the property management was urging everyone in the group chat to pay the property fees. The old man, relying on his connections in the property management, was definitely a long-term holdout who never paid his fees. I printed out a sheet of paper that read, "Elderly residents who have contributed to the community must share the property fees." I posted it at the entrance of the old man's building. As expected, the old man showed up the next day, blocking the entrance to the property management office, demanding 10% from everyone who came to pay their fees. He claimed that he had contributed so much to the community and that he deserved a share of the property management fees. He even posted a notice in the group chat, saying that if any household paid online, they should transfer 10% to his WeChat within a day and use the screenshot to get a refund from the property management. Who among the homeowners paying their fees would even care about him? I just scanned the code and paid the property management directly. The elderly man felt disrespected at first glance, so he sat right on the QR code, refusing to let anyone pay. The young lady from the property management was so anxious she started crying and quickly called the manager. The property manager was shocked upon hearing this. The newly hired security team was called to carry the old man away. The old man slapped a medical report on the table, claiming he had a bunch of illnesses and whoever touched him would be cursed. This immediately intimidated the new security guards. The homeowners were happy to watch the drama unfold, thinking it was a perfect excuse to withhold their property management fees without feeling guilty. The property manager is overwhelmed and at his wit's end. Call the police directly. When the police arrived, the elderly man was lying in the property management office lobby, and the officers didn't dare to move him rashly. The property manager took the opportunity to urge everyone to pay their fees quickly, but no one dared to make a move. The old man already said that those who have paid still need to transfer him 10%. I've already paid. What if he comes back to cause trouble for me later? You should hurry up and resolve this issue. No matter how much the property manager tried to persuade them, no one dared to step forward and scan the code. The old man lay on the ground, sneering. I think the timing is about right, so I sent a message directly in the group chat. I heard that the neighborhood next door is giving out 10 pounds of rice for paying the property fee. Then the neighborhood group chat exploded, with middle-aged and elderly homeowners demanding rice as well. 9. The property manager was already stressed, and seeing me stir up trouble again, he called me directly. "Ancestor, I'm begging you. We're almost unable to put food on the table. And the old man is still causing trouble. Please don't add to the chaos." I clicked my tongue in annoyance. "I'm saving you here. Don't you get it? How much does a bag of rice even cost?" The property manager almost got angry. "You're saving. Wait. Oh my God. How did I not think of that?" After saying that, he thanked me and hung up the phone. A large truck arrived in the afternoon, delivering several hundred bags of rice. Great news. Our community is giving away rice to those who pay the full property management fee, limited quantity, first come, first served. Within minutes, a line had formed of people waiting to pay, but the elderly man blocked the way, insisting on getting his money. This really stirred up a hornet's nest. The delivery guy had no choice but to give him money, but these middle-aged and elderly homeowners weren't having any of it. No one is foolish enough to think they can get the rice without paying the full property fee. This time, about 30 or so aunties gathered around. The old man took out his medical records, and the old woman immediately tore them to pieces. The old man lay down on the ground, and several old women piled bags of rice on top of him. The process of paying fees and receiving rice began. They were afraid that if they paid too late, they wouldn't be able to get any. The old man was cursing and shouting on the ground, but no one paid him any attention. He struggled to get up and tried to sit on the QR code again. He was carried out by several elderly women and thrown into the green belt. This woke up a stray cat that was sleeping, which scratched his face several times. The old man, with a face full of anger, glared venomously at the people queuing to pay their fees. He glanced at the group chat and noticed I was still watching from a distance. "Was it your idea? Kid, fine, so you're just going to keep targeting me, huh, just because I cut in line to buy fried dough sticks, just you wait." After saying that, he left. The look he left behind was exactly the same as when he pushed me into the boiling oil in my previous life. I'm quite sure the old man is going to use hot oil. I endured this ordeal in my previous life, but in this life, you should get a taste of it too. I quietly followed the old man and saw him buy a large bucket of the cheapest blended oil at the neighborhood supermarket. This proves my guess was correct. On the second and third days, the old man was nowhere to be seen, not even in the neighborhood, but the hidden camera at my doorstep captured his sneaky figure every early morning. The fried dough stick vendor told me that the old man had voluntarily apologized to him and promised never to cause trouble again. I advised him to go back to setting up his stall outdoors at the entrance of the neighborhood, because the rent is indeed too high. The vendor is considering moving back. I strongly support this. The oil walk must be set up outside to create that lively atmosphere. Within a few days, long lines started forming again at the entrance of the neighborhood to buy fried dough sticks. The elderly man also comes to cut in line every day. When cutting in line, he specifically looked for where I was and then cut in front of me. He was also carrying a thermal flask, saying it was soy milk he had bought. He looked at me with a provocative gaze, as if waiting for me to confront him directly. However, the fried dough stick vendor's delivery platform was still in use. Whenever the old man cut in line in front of me, I would cheerfully and loudly say, "Sir, stand here, I'll order takeout." Then I immediately placed the order. By the time I received it from the delivery guy, the old man was still waiting in line. After provoking me for a few days and seeing I wouldn't take the bait, the old man simply resorted to direct confrontation. Holding a thermos, he stood beside me and spat toward my feet. How could I not know what was in his thermos? So, with a serious expression, I walked step by step to his side, under his expectant gaze, and as he prepared to use the thermos to block my attack, I reached out and tightly screwed the lid back on. While tightening the lid, I could feel the scorching gas escaping from the gaps. After tightening it, I spat the saliva I had been saving for half a day onto the old man's foot. Then I took off running. The old man got angry and chased after me with his thermos. I ran toward an empty area, all the way to the edge of the neighborhood pond. The old man caught up to a spot just over 10 meters away from me. Finally, I heard a loud bang. The thermos exploded. All I could hear was the old man's heart-wrenching scream. I have no idea how hot the oil was, but storing it in a thermos is just asking for it to explode. This has nothing to do with me, after all. I was just afraid the old man would spill his soy milk, so I tightened the loose lid for him. Who would have known the old man had hot oil in his thermos? I looked back and saw the old man in a miserable state, covered entirely in what looked like a blur. When he saw me coming, his eyes turned red as he scrambled up and chased after me again. I turned around and ran back. I ran to the fried dough stick stall and stood behind the oil pot. "Uncle, this area is full of hot oil. It's too dangerous." "Go to hell, you bastard." He immediately reached out to flip the oil wok toward me, but how could he possibly withstand the temperature of the oil wok? He had only flipped it halfway when the heat became unbearable. He let go, and the entire pot of oil spilled back onto him. A scream like a slaughtered pig echoed throughout the entire neighborhood. I kindly dialed the emergency number. By the time the old man was sent to the hospital, he was completely unconscious. He later lay in the ICU for several days but didn't die, but I can no longer leave the bed, half dead and completely disfigured. After living a life worse than death for over half a year, I finally stopped breathing completely. I have finally returned to my own life. If someone cuts in line again, I will give them my spot. After all, the positions they cut in line to snatch might just send them to report early.